we've been invited to follow up with some of the most renowned entrepreneurs and spiritual leaders. There is nothing more rewarding when it comes to success and self-development. But far too often, people fall short of greatness.
Drug and alcohol abuse.
Falling victim to bad habits.
They get rejected all the time, a lot of failure, and then some success, more failure.
This is not only about discovering the beliefs we have in ourselves, but unlocking the potential that we all carry within us. This is the awakening. The most successful people in the world place a great deal of importance on furthering their personal growth and self-development. Nowadays, there's a growing interest in fulfillment and self-help techniques from books, articles, to websites. It seems that more and more people are being taught to look within to learn new solutions to improve the quality of their lives. But is knowing these techniques enough to create change?
You've had the experience where you heard something and said, that changed my life. That's a learning experience, but now it's got to run up against the way you've been living your life up until now. And that's when we talk about transformational change. How do we live into the very transformation that's being called for us to express?
Many people strive for growth, but continue living their lives without any results. They settle for average and are content with their day-to-day.
I find so many people in life do something that looks good but feels bad. If it feels bad, they shouldn't be doing it, right?
What human beings can do is amazing. What they will do is usually disappointing. It's not because we're not capable of it. It's because we don't have new actions because we get in certain emotional states that dominate us.
We'll hypnotize ourselves to believe things that we know are not true. We'll justify it, we'll rationalize it. We'll do whatever it takes to distract ourselves from being in that space of going, wait a minute. The only person that could ever wake you up is you, because the only person that puts you to sleep is you.
The key to changing your life in any situation is to change results, you got to change behavior. But to change behavior, you got to change the emotional state you're in.
How confident are you in yourself? Has it grown or maybe even lessened throughout the years? Well, no matter the case, believing in yourself is an essential building block to being successful in anything you seek to do.
Once you think of yourself as a creative person, you make better decisions. If you think of yourself as creative, then, oh, I can do this. I can change direction. I mean, it's just so empowering. It's basically being positive about the future. If you think of yourself as creative, right, then you can create a new future.
Many people believe that a strong belief in oneself is something they are born with.
Here is the start of a whole wonderful new life for a new person.
This suggests that people without self-belief can never develop one and are stuck living with low self-esteem. This, however, is wrong. Self-belief is something that can be developed and rebuilt if lost. So if you do not believe in yourself or have lost your self-belief, remember that you can regain it with the right steps and actions. So today's guest is Michael Doyle, a personal and business coach with the mission to help others with their goals and take control of their life.
Hey, I'm Michael Doyle from Doyle & Personal Business Coaching, encouraging you to take control and live fully. I fully believe that we are all here with a soul's purpose and a calling. We all have beliefs, and some beliefs serve us, and some beliefs don't. But a knowing is separate from a belief. A belief is something that we've programmed, we've taken it in to say, okay, I believe that is true and I can live by that belief. But our beliefs in our environment will highly influence what we think about, what we bring about.
So let's meet with Michael and see what he has to share with us.
So what we think about is what we bring about. The problem with having a locus of control that's external, we are giving away our power. We are basically saying it's the roads, it's the government, it's the mother-in-law, it's whatever that is for you. And when you finally step into a place of, I create my own reality, I am fully responsible. It's a tough pill to swallow sometimes, but whether you like it or not, every thought you've had, every belief you programmed, every action you've taken is brought you to exactly where you are now.
One of the most profound philosophers of our time, P. Diddy, said the game is simple. You get out what you put in. So if I want to get a little bit out of life, a little bit of money, a little bit of success, a little bit of good vibes, then I only have to put a little bit in. You have to understand it's an energetic exchange. You get out what you put in.
But the exciting thing about that is, when I did realize that, when I had that aha moment, I was like, wait a minute, if everything I've thought about, every belief I've programmed and every action I've taken have brought me here, clarity is key. When I get clear on what I want, I can be in full control of my thoughts. Neuroplasticity is a fairly new phenomenon that we know about within the last 5 to 10 years. And we can literally retrain our pathways.
Neuroplasticity, also known as brain plasticity, is the ability of neural networks in the brain to change through growth and reorganization. These changes range from individual neurons making new connections to systematic adjustments like cortical remapping. In other words,
simplify it for us. What is it?
Yeah, neuroplasticity is the brain body's changes in response to learning.
So the new paradigm, the new belief system, you are now governed and creating from a different place completely. It's a shift in consciousness. We're always wanting to expand. Our soul always seeks fuller expression. And when we get to that next level, and when I say level, I don't mean level in hierarchy. We are all equal. We are all on different stages of our journey, but we're all ascending. Our soul is seeking a higher level of consciousness. At a macro level, I know I was put here on this earth as a spiritual being having this human experience to raise to greater consciousness. And at a micro level is about empowering people. But I always say through connection and collaboration, raising a greater consciousness. There's many light workers here on the planet. And we know it's something that people say, why did you choose speaking? Why did you choose coaching? I didn't choose it. It chose me. It literally pulled me towards it. It called me. And I realized that everything I had experienced in my life, even the thing that I call bad or dark experiences, it was all happening for me. I mean, everything in life, it's been my experience. It's always happening for us. I'm fascinated with the journey, with the human experience that we have while we're here on this planet. When I look at the teachers and people that have been on my path, no one's my guru, but I always say, I used to look outside myself for all the answers, and really everything is inward.
Inside, deep down inside the soul, there is a diamond that needs to be cut and polished. And what you need to do is bring it out of you, because you're as good as anyone else. That's called potential. If you believe you have more potential than you're performing, I believe that performance is a reflection of value, not a measure of it. And if you can bring that value out and express it in the way that you love and feel comfortable in, you'll find yourself more successful than you ever dreamed, but you have to feel it inside.
So nothing has or ever will been created that's positive from a negative mindset. It's science, it's physics, it's metaphysics. You cannot be in a negative vibration and have an outcome that's positive. So the more that we are positive, the greater chance we have to create something that really matters. The people in the world that are crazy enough to think they can change it, they're always the ones who do. They don't know how, but they know their why. And they are unwavering belief, that power of desire. It's really, I always say, life is simpler than we make it. It's actually not complex. If we change the input, we create a different output. So a lot of people I help are either feeling stuck or ready for the next level. And that's where I'll talk about clarity. Clarity is key. Clarity is something we most crave inside. We want clarity. We want clarity on every area in our life. But I'm the clarity guy, but it doesn't mean I'm always clear on everything. Clarity is something you must seek consistently. It's about fueling your mind, body, and spirit every day. People set goals for their lives. They set goals, they set financial goals, personal goals, health goals, relationship goals. I encourage people to set a goal for their mind, set a goal for their heart, and a goal for their body. And obviously certain goals will fuel two, certain goals will fuel all three areas. But are you intentionally fueling your mind, body, and spirit every day? When you do, that's when you find your flow state. I'm fascinated with flow state. As a musician, I know what it is. Like, I literally had sessions where I sit, hit record, start playing, and time literally disappears. It's a man-made thing. 4 or 5 hours seem like 5 minutes. It's like when people say, what floats your boat, what lights you up? When you feel like time disappears. That's flow state. Do more of that. When's the last time you did something for the first time? Or when's the last time you took time to do something that floats your boat, that brings you to your flow state? I think we're all alchemists. We have the power to transmute energy. We have the power to co-create. And alchemy preceded science. If you look at the foundation of alchemy, there was flow state. And what was the foundation of flow state? Well, water. When water is flowing, it's at its highest vibration. We are mostly water. Actually, we're mostly energy. But our physical body is mostly water. And so when we are in flow, we are at our highest vibration. So to me, it's when every cell in my body, every level of awareness I have is in the present moment. The power of now. The Power of Now, as Eckhart Tolle, he took it to mainstream years ago. You know, I remember reading that book years ago, and if you know how certain books you read again, you get more every time, because as you raise your consciousness, you take something different from that book. I went to hear him speak a few years ago. And on my drive there, it was a 2-hour drive and it took 4.5 hours. Talk about being in the power of now. It was traffic, but I was listening to the audiobook. And the funny thing was, I literally got there just before it started. And my drive was 4.5 hours, but I was literally in the now the whole time. I knew I'd be there when I was supposed to. And as I pulled into the parking lot, the audiobook ended. So the Power of Now, the audiobook ended as I went in to hear him speak about it. Like, you can't plan those things. Those things are divine guidance, synchronicity, to let you know you're on the right track. But flow state, I don't want to ever write something. I will not release something for my clients, for a contract, unless I've written it from a place of flow. There's times when I have a deadline, I don't worry about the deadline. I trust that between now and that deadline, the time will come to me where it'll flow. So I set intention and I allow. And I write completely different now than what I did even 4 or 5 years ago. But flow state, what I love about flow state is you are so connected to your divine creator, to your source, to the quantum field. You're no longer matter trying to change matters. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, I love his work. You are now energy creating matter, consciously creating. And from that place of in the now, in the moment, everything you create will be for the greater good. So how do we tap into flow state? There are a lot of different theories out there. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And there's no one modality that fits and works for everyone. But ask yourself, again, what were you doing when time disappeared? Right? What is it you're passionate about? Brendan Bashar calls it PFI. Everyone has a primary field of interest. So what is that for you? And are you putting time to learn that? See, sometimes we feel stuck in life, but we're never really stuck. Everything is energy. Everything's always moving. Everything's always changing. It might be changing into the same thing again because we're doing the same input. But if we change one thing, we change the input, we create a new output. So flow state for you is like, what are you doing when time disappears? What are you interested in learning? When we are motivated, motivation is great. Motivation is something that we generate from within. Motivation will get us started, but only habits sustain that momentum. So are you taking time to learn? We're not motivated unless we're growing. People think we're growing or we're staying still. No, everything's moving. We're either growing or we're actually going in the other direction. So we don't be conscious of it sometimes, but we're autopilot. We're on that hamster wheel, if you will. But if we're learning, we're going to be more motivated because we're expanding. And our soul wants to always expand. Full expression. Which gets me into flow state, I think visualizing what it is you want to create. Until you're clear on what you want, you don't really know what it is you're going to create. You can't have a plan until you have a destination to go to, right? You start with the end in mind. In Neville's book, The Power of Awareness, he said you must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And I love that, and that's what I work with. When you think about elite athletes and the amount of time they spend doing visualization, their skill levels are so close, they're milliseconds apart. But I fully believe the person that crossed that finish line just before the one that didn't visualized it in their mind and in their heart at least one more time than the person that he just went ahead of.
My dreams and visualizing kind of really played a role in making me motivated and helping me achieve the goals that I had.
The power to visualize it in our mindscape. We must create it in our mindscape first. So when we know what we want to create, we can look to find our flow state. What is it for you? Some people are in flow when they're writing, when they're out for a walk, when they're running, biking, right? When they're speaking. For me, I can find my flow state when I'm on stage. Even for me right now, this is not really natural for me to be sat here being recorded because I'm used to an audience or a workshop or where you have that connection. But we need to, there's power flow state, but there's power getting outside your comfort zone. It's like, who do I need to become to do the things I want to do? So I love flow state, but if you are always in flow state, you're never growing because you're comfortable in flow state. So flow state will serve you, but always make sure that you're also moving beyond the comfort zone. No one will ever grow staying comfortable, cozy. You know, it's okay to be there. It's okay to appreciate what you have while you work towards what you want. It's super important. It's okay to celebrate your victories and give yourself credit. But again, you want to expand. You want to grow. You want to create more. And I know that the more I grow, again, the more I can serve other people. One thing I find very interesting in all my clients and everyone I work with, everyone I believe hits a point in their life where they have to put themselves first. Not in a selfish way, not in an ego way or narcissistic, I'm not saying that, but in a way that empowers them so that when they fully show up for themselves, they're fully showing up for other people. We always talk about the analogy of, you can't pour from an empty cup, and I love that, but again, we're never actually pouring from our cup. I heard her termed, my friend Vicky, actually, when I was in Tuscany, she trained with Bob Proctor, and she had a mentor who talked about that you're not actually pouring from your cup. It's about self-care and self-love. That your cup is so full that everything you give others is from the overflow. You're never depleting yourself. You're giving from the overflow. And I was like, oh wow, that's so powerful, right? So, that was over a year ago. So why do I remember it? Because for me, it created a shift. So I talked about clarity. I talked about energy's always moving, that we're never really stuck. But anytime we make a change, it's sparked by a moment of clarity. And in that moment of clarity, there's a shift in awareness, a shift in our energy, a shift in consciousness. That's when we're going beyond the 5% and we're now getting into the subconscious. And that's how we shift our reality. It's a new belief, it's a new paradigm, and we cannot go back. We can stay the same for a while, but once you expand, we don't go back this way. We're like, once you know something, you can't unknow it. People are always doing the best they can with the knowledge and experience they have. So every time you bring something new in that resonates for you, that's a knowing inside, then you're in a really powerful place to create because you're in alignment. Dr. Joe, again, to go back to him and talk about heart coherence. Meditation, transcendental meditation, when we are fully aligned with our heart, yes, our mind can really help us and we can learn to, our mind controls us or we control the mind. It's a choice. But everything comes from the heart center first. When your root chakra is open and grounded, when your heart center is open, now when you connect through source, through the third eye, through the crown chakra, it's from a powerful place because it's from a place of purely serving the collective. There's a dream of the planet, they call it, or the collective consciousness, right? So we all have a journey as an individual soul, an individual spirit having this experience, but we also have a collective journey. So I really simplify it. I look at things that are happening in the world, and it's not about, separation or borders or politics or economics. Everything is a reflection of where the greater consciousness is currently sitting at. So the best thing we can do is raise our own vibration. And just by proximity and environment, we're going to help people around us raise their vibration. It's from a way of being. I always thought I had to be doing, and I had to help this person. And, people need support and guidance, but no one needs fixing, and we're not responsible for other people. We need to honor their journey. Some people are ready for what I have to say, and some people are not, and that's okay too. I don't need to resonate with everyone, but I just speak from my own truth, and I ask people to say, what is your experience? Do your own research. Don't trust everything anyone tells you, right? Everyone's journey is individually different, but they're very similar too. We're all seeking fuller expression. We all want love. We all want connection, right? We all want significance. Certainty is one of the greatest things we seek, but the only thing is certain is that everything's always changing, right? So when you become comfortable with the uncomfortable, it's a powerful place to be. So I'm really excited to be part of this series. And in closing out this series, I want to give a final message of gratitude, the power of gratitude. My gratitude to the viewers, to the people involved in this series. A heartfelt thank you to everyone. And I encourage you to watch this series, to watch the movie, to journal and do whatever makes your soul come on fire. Because what you are seeking is seeking you.